Distinguished Toastmaster Robert Ram, who's the current production manager of District 102 Public Relations team. We do not need to entail all his achievements on top of being Toastmaster of the Year for term 2019-2020. He's the District Club Extension Chair for 2 consecutive terms, and he is also a very, very passionate individual in using digital marketing technology to help Toastmasters gain members organically. Put your hands together for Distinguished Toastmaster Robert Ram.
Thank you, Nurul. And I must say that the previous session was a very engaging session. Please allow me to share screen, yeah? As Yasser was speaking, I was trying to remember Shift, Control, Click, because I never knew that, frankly speaking. And then remove.bg, a gradient field for text. So after a while, my mind just went blank, so I decided to just write it down. Thank you very much, Yasser, for these tips. I will certainly use it in the future. Very helpful. Thank you. Okay. So now let's go to the next session. And I'm selected here. Okay. So why PowerPoint video? Now, PowerPoint was never created for video editing. PowerPoint was created for presentations. Okay. It was created for you to help you to explain something clearly, to drive a message across in a clear manner. That was the original intention of PowerPoint. Therefore, when you start learning PowerPoint video creation, you will automatically also harness this power of being able to explain things clearly, to drive a message across. Had you decided to start off by learning a regular video editing software, you will not be exposed to this emphasis because video editing softwares have got a different emphasis. Okay. Now, as you go deeper into PowerPoint video creation, you will discover all of PowerPoint's shortcomings. Okay. At this stage, if you still want to continue to produce cinematic videos, then you can move on to a regular video editing software. And if you're not interested in video production, then your time and effort that you spend today is not wasted, because what you're going to learn is actually advanced PowerPoint animations, which you can use in your regular presentations anyway. So today, your time and effort is worth to master these advanced techniques. What you do with it is entirely up to you. I'm going to share with you 4 things today, 4 techniques. The first thing is text animation. So, text animation. All right. Now, you can see in front of you, this is my call to action page. I've got a promotion on the right-hand side, which says early bird discount before 29 of 9/2099. What kind of early bird discount is that? That one you don't ask. Okay, but this could be an early bird discount for your YLP, for your speechcraft, or any workshop that you are conducting. If you are using it to, perhaps some of you are from clubs that are like half corporate, half community, and you want to do a promotion to attract the people from within that organization to join the club, then your promotion could be free membership for XY employees of XYZ company. I leave it to your creativity. Yeah. So now this promotion, the text is going to blink. It's going to flash. Why is it going to flash? To grab the attention of the people. Right? And then before that, below that, you see the name Robert. I don't know who this person is, by the way. His name is going to fly in from the left. Okay. Why is it going to fly in from the left? It's because most people read and write English from left to right. Therefore, when it comes in from left to right, you'll be able to send the message across in a more effective manner. This is just my personal opinion. Yeah, you can animate PowerPoint for the text to come in from the right, from the top, from the bottom. That's entirely up to you. Once the word Robert appears in the middle, it is going to bounce a little bit. Why is it going to bounce? There is no reason. I just want to show how clever I am. That's all. And then below that is the telephone number. Now the telephone number is also going to come in from the left, stop in the middle, and then it's going to become big. It's going to expand in order for people to focus on that particular text. And finally, you see the social media icons at the bottom. The reason why I've made it small is because actually I don't want people to go there. I want them to stop here and call me or WhatsApp me. But sometimes people want to know whether your organization is credible or not. You're collecting 299 ringgit. They want to do some background checks on your company or your organization. So for that, I've given them the social media icons at the bottom. If they want, they can go and check. But I purposely made it small, so I hope that they don't go there. They just call me and sign up. Okay, so let's see the full working version first, and then we will recreate this from scratch. Okay. That's it. You saw that how it worked, right? It happened very fast. So now we are going to recreate the text animation from scratch. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to select this whole thing. Okay, Control C for copy. I'm going to go to a blank slide here and paste. Okay, next I'm going to open my animation window and animation pane here. Now you can see that the moment I copied and pasted the text here, the animation also followed. This is the beauty of PowerPoint. You set up the animation once, and next time you can reuse it again and again and again just by copying and pasting it wherever you want to copy and paste it. You can even copy and paste it on another PowerPoint file. The animation will still follow. Okay, so now I'm going to delete the animation and recreate it from scratch. So I click here and remove. No more animation. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the whole thing. Okay. Add animation. More entrance effects. And I'm going to choose something called circle just for the fun of it. Okay. First thing is done. Now, the next thing is I'm going to make it bounce. I select again. Add animation. Can you see pulse? I selected pulse. Okay, so it kind of blinked once. Once not enough. I wanted to blink 5 times to really grab the people's attention. So I go here. I go to timing and repeat 5 times. That's it. Now it's going to blink 5 times. Okay. The next thing is, you see here there's a number 1 and a number 2. What does number 1 and number 2 mean? That means PowerPoint is expecting somebody to click in order for the next animation to run. But you are creating a video. Nobody's going to click anything. Everything must run automatically. So you have to change the first one to start with previous. That means the moment the slide loads, it will run. This one also start with previous. Now everything will run automatically. Now the next thing I want to do is, I don't want the blinking to happen immediately when the words appear. I want the words to appear first and then only the blinking start. So to maintain the people's focus. So there are a few ways I can do that. Let me just make this bigger. Number 1, I can just left click, keep my mouse down on this and hold the fella bit here. Ha! So that is one way to do it. The other way is, can you see, let me just move this away. Can you see this delay, 0.7 seconds? I can also adjust here, 0.75 seconds, 1 second can be adjusted there. The other way I can do it is, I can click here, go to timing. I can also adjust here. It's the same thing. Okay. So let me just, for the fun of it, make it 1.5 seconds. 1.5 seconds is a bit too much. Yeah, don't want. Okay, something like that. Now, let's see it play. The text appears and it blinks 5 times. That's it. Simple as that. Any questions? No questions. So I'm going to go back to my next slide, and now we're going to animate Robert. Control C for copy, come back here, Control V for paste. As you can see, the animations have followed me. I don't want them. I want to recreate everything from start. This one also don't want. Oh, just delete the whole thing. Right. Okay, no animation at all. We do everything from start. So first, I select Robert, add animation. I go for the fly in. Okay, now by default, fly in will fly in from the bottom. You can if you want to, but I prefer it to come from the left. Okay, so I go to effect option, change from the left. Okay, so the first part is done. Now I want it to bounce a bit for some glamour. All right, so I go back here, go to effect options. Can you see bounce and I make it 0.4 seconds. That's the bounce. Okay, so the first part is done. Second is the handphone number. Select it, go to add animation, fly in. I don't want it to fly in from the bottom. I want it to fly in from the left again. Okay, and after this, I want it to expand big so people focus fully on my telephone number. Again, double click it, add animation. Can you see grow shrink? You use this grow shrink. Aha! Now it's shrinking and growing. So now I've got 3 animations here, numbered 1, 2, and 3. So as usual, I have to change all to start with previous, because in a video, nobody's going to click anything. It's going to run automatically. So I control click, select all one shot. Okay. Pull this down, start with previous. Okay. Now, I want Robert to come in first, and then only the phone number, and then only the grow shrink. Okay, I don't want everything to come in at one shot, then the focus will not be there. So Robert is fine. Handphone number, I give it 0.5 seconds. Grow shrink, 1 second. All right. So now let's see how it works. Robert comes in first, handphone number, and then perfect. Any questions? No questions. Fantastic. You guys are very good students. Okay. So we are done with text animation. I prefer not to be overly overzealous or over enthusiastic with text animation, because text is the one that conveys the message in a very powerful way. So sometimes simplicity is the most effective way to convey the message. So I prefer not to be overly overzealous or over enthusiastic when it comes to text animation. Okay, but you are free to experiment. Now the next thing we are going to do is, let's say this is your last slide. I'll just pull it here and make it the last slide. You'll notice that PowerPoint, your last slide will end in a very abrupt manner. That is the way PowerPoint behaves. So when you export this to a video, it is also going to behave like that. You just cut off like that. Let me just show you how it behaves. This is your last slide, right? Okay, done. And it just cuts like that. So that is not a very elegant way to end. You need another slide at the end for the video to fade out in an elegant way. So this is the video, this is the slide. Let me just put it here. And let's look at all the components in this particular slide. Okay, the logo, your club number or your district number, and all these copyright notices, standard TI copyright notices. You can read the brand manual to see what it consists of, and you just copy and paste from the brand manual, and you're done. Okay. Now this attribution for royalty-free music, it depends on which site you go to get the royalty-free music. They will have their own terms and conditions. So you need to put some attribution there based on their terms and conditions. Now, this one here is my workaround to get permission from the actors in the video. You can use the TI's video release form. Okay, if you want to, you can use this method. Both are not perfect. Both have got their pros and cons. So you read the terms and conditions in the video release form and you decide for yourself. Okay. So now we are going to recreate the whole thing on a separate slide. So let me just Control A to copy everything. Control C, copy. Let me just delete all this and we will use this slide. Okay. It's here. Something that, yeah. Let me delete this first. Okay. So this is just the text. All right. Now, if you look at the animation pane, there is no animation at all. This slide does not need any animation. It just displays everything and that's it. It's not an important slide. The important slide is a slide before that, where the phone number and the call to action and the promotion is. Okay. So this is the first part. Now, the second part is, let's go to transitions. Okay. For this particular slide, you use the fade transition. This is the one that elegantly fades in and out. Okay. So you use a fade transition. Now you see the duration here is 1 second. You can make the thing 2 seconds. That's fine. Okay. So it fades slowly in. All right. Now, can you see this box called after? Okay. This one, you make sure it is unchecked. Just leave it the way it is. So the animation will just remain there. The slide will just remain there until the end. Just leave it the way it is. Don't check it. Okay. So this part is done. Now you need to have a layer on top of it, a slightly grayish layer. Yeah. So what I do is I go to insert, insert shapes, insert one rectangle shape like this first. Okay. Now the next thing is I'm going to remove the outline. By default, all shapes will have a thin outline around it. If you leave the outline there, it will look very PowerPoint-ish. So ideally you remove it to make it look as though it's, where am I going? Shape outline, yes. And click no outline. So outline remove. Next, I change it to black color. So shape fill black. Now this is too black. So now I want to make it slightly transparent. So 30% transparency, right? There are a few ways to go about it. Number one, you can go shape fill, go to gradient, go to more gradients, and here you play with your 30%. Okay, so it's 30%. Okay, the other way you can get to the same panel is you can just right click, format shape, and the same thing opens there. It's 30%. Same thing, yeah, no difference. So now, let me just close this. And I make it bigger, and cover the entire thing. Covered. But now, this layer is covering the TI logo. So we want the TI logo and the words to come to the front. So you just right click, send to back. Haha, everything comes to the front. And that's it. We are done. Let's see how it behaves. So now, let me just delete this. Put this in the end. Okay. I prefer actually 50% transparency like this. 30% looks a bit out for me, but I leave it to you. If you want to strictly comply with TI's requirements, then you go for 30%. Yeah. And let's see how it works. So this is the second last page. And now it gently moves to the last page. And that's it. Done. Any questions? Oh, you're very quiet, huh? Okay.
I felt the transition was not so smooth.
Okay, very good point. I thank you for reminding me for that. It's not smooth because you are viewing it via Zoom. This is a Zoom issue.
Oh, okay.
But later I will be sharing these slides with you. You can try it out yourself on your laptop. It will be perfect. It will be very
Wonderful.
nice. This is a Zoom and an internet issue. That's why it doesn't look that good. Thank you very much for asking that question. Any other questions? No question. Very good. Okay. Now you see on top here, I also have got the same thing, but the wordings are different. Yeah. For what words to go inside here, you go to the brand manual, just copy and paste. Okay. But apart from that, everything is almost the same except for one thing. Let me show you the transition. Yeah.
Robert, there's one question which came in.
Yes. What was the question?
How to display the background boxes?
The background boxes. What background boxes?
Lim Ani, maybe you can, or the grid. She's referring to the grid.
Oh, the grid. Grid. It's been there for so long that I also cannot remember. There are grid lines. I've been using it for so long that I also forgot where to find it. Yeah. Thank you very much for asking me and remembering. Okay. So that's why it is very useful, the grid lines. Okay. So now let's come back here. Yeah. Where am I? Transitions. Okay. Now, actually, PowerPoint fades in very nicely. Only does not fade out very nicely. But TI requires us to put this in the first slide. Okay. Now, if you are using this for an organic purpose, that means you're not running any paid ads for this video, then this is fine. But if you're going to use this as this video for paid advertisements, bear in mind that people's attention span is very short. So putting this may turn off people. And when you turn people off, you're going to lose money because you're paying money for the ads. So what I've done is, the best thing is, now here I've ticked this box. Can you see I've ticked it? And I've given it only half a second. So it comes in for half a second and then it's gone. That's the only difference. Okay. Now, even half a second is half a second too long if you are running paid ads. Before TikTok came into the market, the people's attention span to grab their attention for video was 3 to 5 seconds. Okay. And now with TikTok around, it is said that people's attention span is much shorter. So what perhaps you can do is, you can put this on the last slide. Send your video to TI, explain why you put it on the last slide. I'm sure there are some reasonable people there who will understand your predicament. Let them give you a second opinion. So let's see how this works now. Let me play. So it comes for half a second and it's gone. That's it. Okay, so that's how it works for the first slide. Now, the next thing I'm going to share with you is how to introduce your team members in an elegant manner. Let's just say these are your excos, your club excos, or your division council, or your district council, or your area council. Okay, you've got a picture there, and they all have more or less equal hierarchy. So when people look at this, they don't know which one to focus on. So the focus is not there. So what I'm going to teach you is a technique how you can zoom in on individuals so that the focus is greater. And then when you zoom in on the individuals, then you can run some captions and so on and so forth. If you notice the videos that we have been posting on the district's timeline over the last few days, the last 3 videos, it's using the same technique. So first, let me show you the end result. This is the first one. I'm only going to zoom in on 3 people. Okay, so I zoom in on Jacqueline, and maybe I can run some captions on the left. Then I zoom in on Paul, okay, and then I zoom in on Alice. Just 3 people to save time. Okay, so that is the end result, how you can introduce your members. So now we are going to replicate this. To replicate this, there are 2 important prerequisites. Number 1, you need to have PowerPoint 2019 and above. Anything below 2019, you can't do this. Or if you have Microsoft Office 365, no problem. Because Office 365 is updated every year, you're paying for it every year anyway. Okay, so remember PowerPoint 2019. Second prerequisite is this image needs to be a very high resolution image because you're going to blow it up really big for only that person's face to appear in the middle. So if it's a low resolution image, the ones that normally come to you via WhatsApp, definitely cannot. Okay, ideally you want an image that is exported directly from the software you use to create it, like Canva or PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, duplicate this slide, and I'm going to move it down, to move it away from everything else. Okay, we start here. We don't bother about the ones above, yeah? So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the slide one more time. I've got this slide. Now I want to focus on Jack. So let me just close this panel, make this bigger so you can see what's happening. You focus on slide 8 on the left panel and the center slide as well. So what I'm doing is I go to picture format and I start making it bigger, really big. So you can see the image is becoming bigger. Yeah? And because it's becoming bigger, it has to be really a high resolution image, otherwise it will pixelate. I'm going to make it really big, up to say about 50. Okay, and now you look at slide number 8 in the left panel. Jack is kind of hidden, so I move it up a bit, move it up a bit, move it up a bit. Okay, so Jack is more or less in the middle. I'm not going to make this perfect, yeah, but you get the idea. So Jack is more or less in the middle already now. Good enough. Now you notice that the flyer background color is maroon. The slide background color is white. So it's going to look weird. So I'm going to make the slide also maroon. So right click, format background, color. I've already got all my TI colors here. So I don't have to have a template or whatever. That's it. So now it's standardized already. Okay. Next, right click again, duplicate. I've got the next one. Now very simple. I just move Paul to the middle. Is Paul in the middle? Yeah, he is more or less in the middle. Let me move him down. Okay, it's more or less perfect. I'm not going to be a perfectionist here. Paul is more or less in the middle. Done. Okay, next, right click again, duplicate. Now I'm going to move Alif in the middle. Is he in the middle? Yeah, he's more or less in the middle, yeah? So let's not strive for perfection as long as you understand the concept. So now the final touch is I select slide number 7, number 8, number 9. I select these 4 slides. How did I select all flow? I kept my finger on the control key and just click, 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 click. All selected. Now I go to transitions. And can you see this morph? This is the one that is available only in PowerPoint 2019 and above. If yours does not have morph, that means it's not PowerPoint 2019, it's an older version. Just select morph. By default, I've already selected it. And let's play it. The first slide. Okay, Jack, Paul, Alif. Done. So that is the second thing you have learned today. The third thing you've learned today actually, which is how to zoom in and zoom out to introduce your team members in a more focused manner. Any questions? No question. Very good. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is the components of a storyboard. Let me just animate this. Okay. What is a storyboard? A storyboard is the structure for your so-called speech. You know, when you create a speech, you've got a structure, opening, body, conclusion, message, call to action, this kind of stuff in the structure. Same concept. When you create a video, you need to have a storyboard because your storyboard is the plan. Okay. Without a storyboard, you will most likely go to the event, put your camera on the stage, hit the record button, and then sit back and relax. After 2 hours, you have a huge file, which will take at least half an hour to transfer to your laptop. And when you double click, it will take 1 minute to open, and you'll be wondering what to do with this. Okay, but if you have a plan, which is your storyboard, when you go for the event, you already know in your mind exactly what footage you are going to take, what pictures you are going to take, who you are going to interview. Everything is already pre-planned in your mind. Trust me, if it's a Toastmasters regular meeting, you can easily produce 3 videos of 2 minutes each by taking pictures and footages just at that meeting, if you have a storyboard. Okay, because you already have a plan. So the idea here is to capture your raw materials with edits in mind. Then life becomes very easy. Okay. So I'm going to start with the components of a storyboard from end to beginning. Just like when you draft a speech, chances are that you start with a message first, which comes at the end. Then you move backwards to the body, and then you move backwards to the opening. So the body and the opening supports the message. Same thing here. So the last part is your call to action. So in this case, what is your call to action? You want people to join your club? You want people to form a club? You want them to join your YLP, Speechcraft, and so on? Up to you. Okay. Now, the next one, before that, is a recap of the emotional benefits. Remember, before people make a decision, they're kind of emotional. So you have to have some emotional benefits there. For example, your emotional benefits could be gain self-confidence to speak on stage, overcome your stage fright, something that touches their heart. Not the logical benefits, yeah? So you have about 3 emotional benefits. Before that, you strive to have some testimonials or endorsements from your club members. Okay? Now, testimonials serve 2 purposes. The first purpose is, of course, to add credibility to your cause. So if you're asking people to form a Toastmasters club, the testimonials will add credibility to your cause. Okay. Now, the other reason for a testimonial is to address things that people have doubts about, address the doubts or the fears that people have, which they are reluctant to speak about. Okay. For example, if you're trying to form a Toastmasters club in a university, $65 is a lot of money for a Malaysian student. Okay, but they may not say it openly, but in their hearts, you think, wow, $65 times 4.5. Oh, that's my one week's food bill. And they will say, I'll think about it and get back to you. And after that, they never get back to you. So similarly, there could be a whole lot of other doubts and fears people have that the testimonial giver needs to address. So you list down a whole lot of possible doubts. Ask your testimonial giver to address just one of those in their testimonial. So in that way, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Your testimonial giver can't address everything. Otherwise, that video recording will be about 5 minutes long. Okay, just 1. Before that, be very clear about what problems you're solving for the potential members. I've seen a lot of club chartering flyers. When you look at the message in the flyer and the write-up, it appears that they have designed the flyer to solve their own problem. They want to charter a club. Okay, that's their problem. Okay, but it is not addressing the potential member's problem. The potential member has got his own problem and he's interested in his problem. He wants to learn how to speak English fluently. He wants to know how not to be fearful when he goes on stage. He wants to know how to ace an interview and answer confidently during an interview, and on and on and on and on. So if you address their problem, hopefully your problem will be solved. But in your video or your flyer design or your write-up, if everything is about your problem, it's going to be a challenge trying to get the thing done. Okay? Next, what services are you providing? Public speaking coaching, communications training, leadership development, and so on. And finally, introduce your organization. Where do you meet? What time do you meet? Who are your expos, your club members, and so on. Okay? Now, this is the flow. The first 4 components do not necessarily have to be in this particular order. You can be creative and play around with it. Okay, it depends on what kind of materials you have. So when you have this storyboard, you will know exactly where to find the materials. And if you don't know where to find the materials, just go to your Facebook page. If your Facebook page is at least 1 year old, look at the images there. And trust me, you will find sufficient images that fit into every aspect of this storyboard. And you can just use images to make your first video. Any questions? I'm already on the yellow light. Okay, we don't have any questions? Finally, before I forget, after you do all your animation, how to convert it into a video. If I don't tell you that, then you wouldn't know. Okay, you go to File, you go to Export, you go to Create Video. Don't select full 180p first. You go for the lowest resolution because you just want a draft. If you select full 180p, you have to wait for a long time for it to export. So go for the lowest resolution, export it quickly within a minute or two, play it, check whether everything is okay. If everything is okay, then you go and export it as 180p. This is good enough for YouTube and Facebook. The highest resolution PowerPoint gives is HD 4K. If you're going to run it on a big flat screen TV, sometimes you're doing road shows in shopping complexes or stadiums or whatever, and they give you a big flat screen TV to run stuff, then you export it as Ultra HD. Otherwise, 180p is good enough. I'm at the red light. Okay, so when we meet the next time, God willing, next month, I will share with you another 3 tips in PowerPoint, which is number 1, how to create a word cloud, animated one. So this is to appease all those of you who like to have a lot of words in your presentation. Every time your evaluator says your presentation is too wordy, but still you like to put a lot of words, I'll share with you how to create a word cloud, animated one in PowerPoint, so you can put in as many words as you like. The next thing I will share with you is how to create a spotlight behind the person to give the person the aura. And the next thing is how to do whiteboard animation. Hey, why my whiteboard animation didn't run? Anyway, I'll fix it in the next meeting and it will run where the hand starts to write. With that, thank you very much. And any other questions? No question. Thank you very much, and back to Toastmasters of the day.